Breaking news, a 6-month-old baby shot and at least one person killed. We're live with what we're learning about more victims. Plus, hundreds of people at UNC joining a nationwide movement to protest the war between Israel and Hamas. What the crowds look like at this hour and what changes they're demanding.
Temperatures are in a steady climb through our weekend. When we're forecasting our first 90 of the year and the one blip on Futurecast that could mean a chance for rain.
We are on top of breaking news. Investigators telling us tonight a 6-month-old is among several people shot in Robeson County. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Ashley Rowe.
Just unbelievable. Yeah. I'm Dan Haggerty. So this happened just outside of Red Springs. One person we know is dead. The baby is among those taken to the hospital. The investigation underway now near the intersection of Pearsall Road and Children's Road.
WRAL's Carly Haynes was there a few moments ago, now joining us from the police department. Carly, this is a really rural area. Not many buildings or people around.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet around here, and this police department that you're looking at was temporarily blocked off this afternoon. The Robeson County Sheriff's Office confirms that one of those gunshot victims was taken here before being transported to the hospital. But I want to call your attention to the investigation that's taking place just down the way. This is drone footage over Children's Road right now. We're seeing a very active investigation at a home there. You can see crime scene tape surrounding that home. As of now, deputies have said at least 2 people were shot, both taken to the hospital. One of those people has died. The other is that 6-month-old baby. Details are very limited right now. We are still working to learn what might have led up to this, Ashley.
Oh. Carly, have you heard anything about the baby's injuries?
Well, we spoke to the sheriff about that. We asked him that question. He doesn't have answers right now. All he's telling us is that the baby is currently being treated at the hospital.
We sure are pulling for that baby. Carly Haynes reporting live in Robeson County. Thank you.
So Nightly News just highlighted some of the pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses across the country. We had one in the Triangle here today. Sky 5 got us this bird's eye view. UNC, Chapel Hill, the campus there. Students kept things peaceful, which was fortunate. The protesters had tents set up for a while on Polk Place and have since taken them down. WRAL's Aaron Thomas is live there now on campus. Aaron, you saw about 100 or so people out there earlier today. Give us a sense of how things are going now.
Sure. Yeah. So it's definitely maintaining the same momentum that's been going on for several hours as we see people leave this gathering. A few more people start to come. At one point, we did see some pro-Israeli demonstrators that stopped by here, but they have since left. What you see behind me is all taken in place to take a stand against the ongoing war in the Middle East. In the middle of UNC Chapel Hill's campus, flags, picnic blankets, signs. The setup labeled the Gaza Solidarity Encampment. Each person in attendance sharing a common demand for the university: cut ties with Israel. This includes divesting funds used for Israeli-linked institutions. A wave of similar demonstrations are popping up at other campuses across the country. Mel, a graduate student from Duke University, joined this movement with the message to stop violence in Gaza.
We follow in the footsteps of, I think, probably 80 plus other universities at this point, where we're calling for transparency in the business dealings and the money flows of our universities and divestment from them, because we don't want our money as students and our money as taxpayers to be going to fund a genocide.
So this gathering in the middle of UNC's campus actually started right around 10 this morning, and those demonstrators, they tell us that they have no plans to leave the grounds until their needs are met by the university. Dan?
You know, Aaron, we have seen some stuff set up in that area for a few days now, but this was the first, I guess, demonstration that we have seen. Do you know of any other plans for other events, police presence, that sort of thing?
So as far as events that will be taking place out here, we're actually told by a group, a Jewish Voice for Peace, that they'll be holding a Shabbat service. Keep in mind, this is the week of Passover for people of the Jewish faith. Jewish Voice for Peace happens to be a pro-Palestinian group. When it comes to security measures, we did see the UNC police chief and other security people. They have been walking the grounds periodically. Everything is fine. The only thing that they did tell them at one point was to get rid of the tents. They have the right to protest out here because this is a public university, but having the tents out here is against university policy. But of course, we'll be out here throughout the evening and keeping a pulse as this gathering continues to develop throughout the night.
Okay, of course. Aaron Thomas, live for us in Chapel Hill. Aaron, thank you.
I'm Lena Tillett in the WRAL Live Center following breaking news in the Midwest. Frankly, a catastrophic situation playing out right now in the Midwest. Tornadoes reported on the ground as we speak. I want to show you some unbelievable video coming out of Lincoln, Nebraska, not too far from Omaha. Look at this tornado on the ground here. This actually crosses I-80, a major interstate there in Nebraska. A lot of folks would be traveling around this time. Hopefully, folks were heeding the warnings here. We are hearing of so many damage reports, also potential injuries. Nothing confirmed at this point, though, because this is such a developing situation. I was paying attention to the live feeds. Tornadoes on the ground as we speak in the Omaha metropolitan area. This is video of Epley Airfield. This is the main airport there in Omaha, Nebraska. Right now, as you can imagine, there's a ground stop, and airport officials are saying that they are assessing the damage. They initially had to put folks in shelters. Now they're assessing the damage to see what has happened as a result of these tornadoes touching ground. On a personal note, I have family members who live in this area telling me that they had to shelter in place at least a couple times as a result of these storms. We're going to stay on top of it. Tornado watches across the Midwest, guys.
Lena, we hope that your family stays safe.
They're okay. They're safe.
Good. Okay, thank you. Enloe High School students, staff, and parents are calming their nerves this evening. Class dismissed around lunchtime. For a while, they thought someone had a gun on campus. It turns out there was no gun and no threat. Everyone relieved, but still kind of shaken. WRAL's Matt Tallhelm heard from investigators, students, and parents.
Raleigh police are still investigating what prompted that student to report that initial threat. But at the end of the day here, it is a sense of relief that it turned out to be nothing.
Everything and everyone is safe at Enloe High School.
Those are the words from police.
Everything is okay.
These worried parents waited to hear.
I've been down here for like an hour just waiting. Just waiting. That's all you can do is wait and pray.
Tanisha Powell rushed toward the Enloe High School campus where her daughter, Jasmine Gray, was under code red lockdown inside.
We did hear the police walking through the hallway. So when we heard it, the class was like frightened, like everybody was just scared. Like, I don't know, it's just scary.
Like so many parents, she could only get as close as police would allow. Some stood on hills overlooking the school's parking lot. Others lined up in their cars a block away on New Bern Avenue. Sky 5 flying over the campus shows the massive police response just after 10 o'clock when the threat was first reported.
A student made the principal aware that there's a potential of someone on campus with a firearm.
Raleigh police searched the campus surrounding these buildings and went classroom by classroom.
Show me your hands.
This video from inside one of those classrooms shows an officer yank a student standing by the doorway into the hall. RPD tells us that student was not involved in the threat, and they are looking into what happened here. The all clear came about an hour and a half after the lockdown began, leading to this mass exodus of students from campus and excited reunions with parents.
I gave her a kiss. Yes, I did. I gave her a kiss. Yes.
I really felt at ease because that, it could have been another way. And I'm just glad that, he's here and we're going home.
The school tells us there will be an additional police presence and security presence here on campus Monday out of an abundance of caution. Matt Tallhelm, WRAL News, Raleigh.
And within the last 90 minutes, Raleigh police shared a statement with us about that video from inside a classroom. It says in part, we hold our employees to the highest standards of conduct, even during highly tense situations. RPD says it will take appropriate action if an investigation finds any violations.
My goodness, what a mess out on the roads today. We now know that it was a dump truck that slammed into the sign over I-440, having it crash down below. Within the last hour, we got this image. This is from another vehicle, a dash cam going in the opposite direction. You see the bed of that dump truck is up. Moments later, it crashed into that sign, knocking it down and causing a massive mess and inconvenience for so many people. It happened near exit 3 for Hillsborough Street. Crews had to close the highway in both directions to clean up everything. Police tell us the truck did not stop after hitting the sign. They later found that truck nearby. No word yet if the driver will face charges. This sign was eventually going to come down anyways, ironically, as part of the ongoing I-440 expansion project. Made quick work of that, but it was, we did pay the price today, didn't we?
Oh boy, yes we did. To Durham now, more areas and playgrounds will close to test for lead. The city has been working on this problem since last August. It's happening at Lyon, East End, Walltown, East Durham, and Northgate parks. Crews will fence off more areas at all 5 parks. The playgrounds at these parks will be closed as well, and they will not reopen until test results come back. So it could be a week before they are back open. 5 middle school students are hurt after 2 charter buses crashed on I-85 in North Carolina. They were bringing a group of South Carolina middle schoolers on a field trip to Carowinds. 85 students were on board, plus 21 chaperones. The bus driver was also hurt in the crash. The school district says one bus rear-ended the other bus, then swerved off the interstate into some trees. First responders rescued students by pulling them through the window emergency exits.
It's scary for those kids. So tonight, the tough conversation none of us want to have, but one that many, including the governor, says that we should.
How to tackle planning for major health care decisions before you or your loved ones are too sick to speak for yourself. Kat.
It's a beautiful day out here at the WRAL Azalea Gardens. Nice, comfortable 70s today, but not for long. Summer weather is on the horizon. I'll have a closer look at when it arrives and for how long coming up.
We are approaching the end of April, the end of what Governor Cooper has proclaimed Healthcare Decisions Month, a title given to raise awareness about the decisions that need to be made surrounding the end of life, like updating your will, healthcare directives, whether you want to be buried or cremated, and who will care for your children or your pets. We often think our loved ones will know what we want. It's a tough topic, I know. Talking about this with my parents seems more awkward than telling my boss I dropped my work phone in the toilet. But data shows nearly 1 in 3 people guessed wrong when asked to predict which end-of-life decisions their loved one would make. That's why there's a push for advanced care planning, to carve out a plan for future decisions about your medical care if you become seriously ill or unable to communicate your wishes, so that your family can act on your behalf the way you want them to. Joining me now to discuss advanced care planning is Risa Hanau, a clinical and community educator with Athora Care, a palliative and hospice care organization. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
When we talk about advanced care planning, what does that look like? Is there a formal document we're supposed to be filling out?
So advanced care planning is actually a process broader than just documents. So yes, we have documents in North Carolina that include a living will, but those documents are only part of the project. We really want to be thinking about the broader planning, which includes having conversations, those hard conversations with our loved ones, with our healthcare providers, perhaps with our faith leaders, with those who can hear and receive information about what gives our life meaning and what we would want in terms of care and nurture if we could not speak for ourselves at some point.
Part of this is about our needs, but also for the needs of our caregivers when they are faced with these decisions. Research has shown that it actually helps these caregivers, ease the burden, help with their own mental health and depression when they're going through such a tough time. Has your lived experience working in the palliative and hospice organization shown that?
Absolutely. So I can say having these conversations, completing these documents is truly a gift to not only yourself, but to a family member. Because at 3 o'clock in the morning in an emergency room, it is difficult in any circumstance, but we can give a gift of our family being able to say, I know what she would want because we talked about it. And that is truly the gift that we can give to each other. And we should be doing that if we are a legal adult and able to make our own decisions. We should do that now rather than waiting, because honestly, we never know when a need might arise.
What's one step we can take to work towards that advanced care planning now?
So I would say have a conversation when you are with your loved ones about what gives your life meaning. Look at some websites, just look at the AuthoriCare website, look at advanced care planning. There are many tools out there, and include your provider in these conversations.
Interesting. All right. Thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you.
Very, very important conversation. So meteorologist Kat Campbell outside for us, enjoying the nice weather today, and we have a nice weekend ahead. So much to do around town too, Kat.
A lot going on in the area. You know, it's that time of year, spring and fall. We always have all the downtown and outdoor festivals happening. We are tracking some storms to our west today. These are not likely to make it here. So you saw Lena Tillett in the WRAL Live Center earlier. She was showing you some of these storms, the tornado that touched down in Omaha. The good news is that storm system is not threatening us. We do have the warm front attached to that same area of low pressure. That's brought a few sprinkles to areas close to the Sandhills and western North Carolina today. But that system stays far away from us. We got a big ridge of high pressure to warm things up and keep it away from us. 74 tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Sunday, we're at 82, partly cloudy skies in the forecast Sunday. And if we look at your weekend a bit more in depth tomorrow, we'll wake up to temperatures in the low to mid 50s in the morning. By lunchtime, 65, so feeling pretty good. And dinner time temperatures in the lower 70s. But here comes summer. The heat is back by the time we get to next week. We are at 82 on Sunday. That's the first day in the 80s. And then we warm into the upper 80s for most of next week, even hitting 90 likely on Wednesday. We are likely to see our first 90-degree day of the year by the time we get to next week. So it is really going to be warm out there. Luckily, the humidity won't be terrible. Carolina Beach has been a beautiful day on this Friday evening. We saw some people out at the beach earlier. This weekend, if you're headed to the coast, it's not going to be warm enough to necessarily get in the water for most of us yet, but an early heads up as we look at those summer-like temperatures next week and we start to think ahead to beach season. Always check in on WRAL News before you head to the beach for the weekend, and we will have the latest rip current forecast for you tomorrow. Some area beaches do have a moderate risk of rip current, so we're going to keep an eye on that potential for tomorrow. Beach forecast tomorrow, 62 at Nags Head, 68 at Topsail, 70 at Wrightsville Beach, and on Sunday, 70 at Nags Head, 72 for Emerald Isle as well as Topsail Beach, 74 at Wrightsville Beach on Sunday, warming up a little bit. You can see in Broogaloo, downtown Raleigh, there's quite a few people out there enjoying it. 71 degrees right now. It's really comfortable out here, but I am glad that I've got my jacket. Tim King, who works on the crew here, he had to go grab his jacket earlier as it was cooling down. Tree pollen does remain high today. We have high tree pollen for the weekend, so if you're headed to any of these outdoor festivals and you have allergies, just keep on taking the allergy medicine a bit longer. Here comes the heat. We're up to 90 on Wednesday, but upper 80s across the board every day next week, except Wednesday when we hit 90. Very small rain chances next week, so really no measurable soaking rain looking likely for everybody at this point, and we really do need it out there.
Hopefully we get some rain soon, but the heat is coming. Kat, thank you.
A new dinosaur exhibit opens at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences tomorrow. You and the family can check out a T-Rex and a Triceratops. Of course, this isn't Raleigh's first set of dinos.
Yeah, we did a little fossil work ourselves, digging into the WRAL archives for the days when the museum's original exhibit first opened. That's next.
The Fayetteville-Cumberland County Crime Stoppers Association is raising its profile with food. Members served up a plate of pork, potato salad, coleslaw, and a dinner roll at Harris Teeter on Rayford Road today for a $10 donation. Crime Stoppers is a community-driven program. It partners with local law enforcement agencies to help residents take an active role in fighting crime.
The big success for today is the fact that those folks that are here helping are continuing to help raise the monies that we need to pay those rewards.
This is an annual fundraiser. It's also a chance for people to meet with the Crime Stoppers board members and the local coordinator to ask questions about the program.
A student in Cary won this year's 2nd District Congressional Art Competition. This is a piece from Isabel Chang. She's a senior at Cary Academy. Wow, that is so cool. She calls this the Constellation Seamstress. A panel of arts professionals and educators in Wake County chose this piece among 97 other different entries.
Wow.
And man, that's a really beautiful piece of art.
Yep, sure is. The new dueling dinosaur exhibit opens tomorrow at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences in Raleigh. It features the remains of a T-Rex and a Triceratops. Over the next 4 to 5 years, scientists will carefully unveil the fossils, searching for clues about how those dinosaurs lived and how they died. Find all the ticketing information right now on WRAL.com. Of course, these are not the first dinosaurs to be featured at the museum. Other dinos, like the Acrocanthosaurus, have been there for decades.
I love the Acrocanthosaurus. We took a dive into the WRAL archive back in the late 1990s to uncover when crews first set up the exhibit.
This is how you assemble a $3 million dinosaur. And yes, these are real bones.
The way we do the real bones.
The Acrocanthosaurus will be one of the main attractions at the new North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences.
It's a very rare dinosaur, the only one of its kind in the world that is complete enough to mount into something folks can look at. So it's a one-of-a-kind dinosaur.
The dinosaur that roamed the southeastern United States will be part of the Terror of the South exhibit. Even the victim here is the largest museum-quality dinosaur model in the world. And getting everything right is hard work.
The key for getting it positioned right is so that when the visitor comes in, the tail up here is not obstructing the view.
The public won't be able to view this exhibit until April 7th, 2000, the first day the new museum opens. Erica Lewis, WRAL TV5 News, Raleigh.
TV5 News. Yeah, I love it. And it's going to be, it's exciting to have these. Oh boy, it's Friday, isn't it?
It's Friday.
Yeah. Thanks for being with us tonight here on WRAL.
Our next newscast is at 10 on Fox 50 and 11 on WRAL. Have a great night.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.